Abdullah Gül (ɡuːl) is a Turkish politician who served as the 11th President of Turkey, in office from 2007 to 2014. He previously served for 4 months as Prime Minister from 2002 to 2003, and concurrently served as both Deputy Prime Minister and as Foreign Minister between 2003 and 2007. He is currently a member of the advisory panel for the President of the Islamic Development Bank, advocating staunch Islamist political views during his university years. Gül became a Member of Parliament for Kayseri in 1991 and was re-elected in 1995, 1999, 2002 and 2007. Initially a member of the Islamist Welfare Party, Gül joined the Virtue Party in 1998 after the latter was banned for anti-secular activities, when the party split into hardline Islamist and modernist factions in 2000. Gül joined fellow party member Recep Tayyip Erdoğan in advocating the need for reform and moderation. He ran against serving leader Akay Kutan for the Virtue Party leadership on behalf of Erdoğan, who was banned from holding political office at the time. As the candidate for the modernist camp, he came second with 521 votes while Kutan won 633. He co-founded the Moderate Justice and Development Party with Erdoğan in 2001 after the Virtue Party was shut down in the same year, while hardline conservative members founded the Felicity Party instead. Gül became Prime Minister after the AKP won a landslide victory in the 2002 general election, since Erdoğan was still banned from office. His government had removed Erdoğan's political ban by March 2003, after which Erdoğan became an MP for Siirt in a by-election and took over as Prime Minister. Gül subsequently served as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Deputy Prime Minister until 2007. His subsequent bid for the presidency drew strong and highly vocal opposition from ardent supporters of secularism in Turkey and was initially blocked by the Constitutional Court due to concerns over his Islamist political background. He was eventually elected Turkey's first Islamist president after the 2007 snap general election. As president, Gül has come under criticism for giving assent to controversial laws which have been regarded by the political opposition as unconstitutional. In June 2013, he signed a bill restricting alcohol consumption into law despite initially indicating a possible veto, which was seen as a contributing factor to sparking the 2013-14 anti-government protests. Other controversies included a law tightening internet regulation in 2013, a law increasing political control over the judiciary in 2014, and a law giving the National Intelligence Organization controversial new powers. Also in 2014, Gül took a mediating approach during anti-government protests and government corruption scandals. Early life. Gül was born in Kayseri, Central Anatolia on the 26th anniversary of the proclamation of Turkish independence. His father is Ahmet Hamdi Gül, a retired Air Force mechanic, and his mother is Adviye Gül. Education. Gül studied economics at the Istanbul University. During his graduate education, he studied for 2 years in London and Exeter in the United Kingdom. Whilst in the UK, he was on the executive committee of the Federation of Student Islamic Societies. He pursued an academic career after that and worked at the higher education facilities in Adapazarı, collaborating in the establishment of the Department for Industrial Engineering and teaching management courses at the ITU Sakarya Engineering faculty, which later became the Sakarya University in 1992. He served at Faculty of Political Sciences at Sakarya University, then Faculty of Economic and Administrative Sciences, for a while. He received a PhD from the Istanbul University in 1983. He was conferred an honorary PhD degree from Amity University, Noida, India on 8 February 2009, and A.L.D. from the University of Dhaka on 13 February 2010. Between 1983 and 1991, he worked at the Islamic Development Bank in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. In 1991, he became a lecturer in international management. Entry into politics. ɡuːl became acquainted with politics early during his high school years. During his university education, he became a member of the Islamist nationalist Milli Türk Talab Birliği in the line of Necip Fazıl's Bayraktar current. He was elected a member of the Turkish parliament for the Refah Partisi from the Kayseri electoral district in 1991 and 1995. During these years, he made statements about the political system of Turkey that was designed by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk and the Turkish national movement, which included, "This is the end of the Republican period, and the secular system has failed and we definitely want to change it." These statements caused controversy when his candidacy for the 2007 presidential election was announced by Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In 1999, he kept his seat as a member of the Fazilet Partisi, which was subsequently outlawed by the Constitutional Court for its violation of the Constitution. Its predecessor, the Refah Partisi, was also outlawed by the Constitutional Court for its violation of the Constitution, especially the principle of secularism. By this time, ɡuːl had apparently moderated his views and was reportedly considered to be part of the Virtue Party's reformist faction. He was a co-founder of the Adalet ve Kalkınma Partisi, a party which billed itself as a moderate conservative party in the European tradition. He was elected once again to represent Kayseri in 2002. An interview he gave in 2002 summarizes his criticisms of the Refah Partisi under the leadership of Necmettin Erbakan and his portrayal of the AKP as a moderate party. In the Welfare Party, there were groups demanding Sharia rule. Welfare did not represent the local values we are now cultivating. The ideology of the party was partially shaped by alien imports. Our vision was at odds with the rest of the party. The despotic rule of Erbakan made it impossible for us to realize our vision under the rubric of the national view. We believe that modernization and being Muslim complement each other. We accept the modern values of liberalism, human rights, and market economy. AKP career. Prime Minister. After the Justice and Development Party won the most votes in the November 2002 general election, ɡuːl was appointed Prime Minister. As AK Party leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan was unable to assume the role due to a ban on his participation in politics. After ɡuːl's government secured legislation allowing Erdogan's return to politics, the latter took over as Prime Minister on the 14th of March 2003. He was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. After becoming Foreign Minister in March 2003, ɡuːl became the key player in Turkey's attempts to receive an accession date for the European Union and in its attempts to improve relations with Syria and maintaining its relationship with the Turkish-speaking countries of Central Asia and the Caucasus. On 8 January 2008, ɡuːl flew to the United States to meet with U.S. President George W. Bush and U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. Presidency, 2007-14. Prime Minister Erdogan announced on 24 April 2007 that ɡuːl would be the Justice and Development Party candidate in the 2007 presidential election. Previously, there had been speculation that Erdogan himself would be the party's candidate, which had provoked substantial opposition from secularists. When a boycott of opposition parties in parliament deadlocked the election process, ɡuːl formed formally withdrew his candidacy on 6 May 2007. If elected, he would be the first president to have been involved with Islamist parties. But a few days later, on the 11th of May 2007, when he inquired after the alterations to the Turkish constitution which now allowed the people to elect the president directly, rather than a parliamentary vote, ɡuːl announced that he was still intending to run. Following the July 2007 parliamentary election, the AK party renominated ɡuːl as its presidential candidate on 13 August. The election was again held as a vote of parliament. On 14 August, ɡuːl submitted his candidacy application to parliament and expressed his commitment to secularism at a news conference. On 28 August 2007, he was elected president in the third round of voting. In the first two rounds, a two-thirds majority of MPs had been required, but in the third round he needed only a simple majority. ɡuːl was sworn in immediately thereafter. The process was a very low-key affair. ɡuːl's swearing-in was not attended by the chief of the Turkish General Staff and was boycotted by the opposition Republican People's Party. Then the handover of power at the presidential palace was held behind closed doors. ɡuːl's wife was not present. The traditional evening reception hosted by the new president at the presidential palace for the country's highest authorities was announced for 11:30 in the morning, and wives were not invited. His presidency was described as a new era in Turkish politics, for being the first president of Turkey with an Islamist background. ɡuːl received messages of congratulation from the US, EU and German authorities, while Turkey's Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan made statements saying a structure doomed to uncertainty has been overcome. In September 2008, ɡuːl became the first Turkish leader to visit Armenia, sparking a major debate in Turkey. In November 2011, President ɡuːl led a state visit to the United Kingdom as a guest of Queen Elizabeth II. The president met political and business leaders, visited the Olympic Park and was guest of honor at a state banquet at Buckingham Palace. In November 2013, ɡuːl called on Muslim countries to fight against what he called Islamophobia during his address at the 29th session of the COMCEC in Istanbul. He said, "Islamophobia remains a critical problem, which instigates unsubstantial prejudices against our region and Muslims. Terror plays a role in the persistence of such problems. We have to combat any form of deviation playing into the hands of people who equate terrorism with Islam, the religion of love, tolerance and conciliation." Statements on the Middle East. ɡuːl has been a critic of Israel and Western countries which established relations with Israel at the expense of Palestine. After the Israeli raid on the MV Mavi Marmara in 2010, he advocated the complete ending of diplomatic relations with Israel, stating that Israel will turn into a complete apartheid regime in the next 50 years if it does not allow for the establishment of an independent and proud Palestinian state with its capital in East Jerusalem. That is why we are exerting efforts to achieve a fair peace with a strategic point of view, which is to Israel's own interests. On the 31st of December 2012, he stated, with respect to the Arab Spring and democratization of the Arab world, but democracy is not only about elections. The task of creating essential democratic institutions, the rule of law, habits of accountability, gender equality, and freedom of expression and faith still awaits these countries. History of titles. 1949 to 1983, Abdullah Gül. 1983 to 1991, Dr. Abdullah Gül. 1991 to 1996, Association. Professor. Dr. Abdullah Gül, MP. 1996-1997, Association. Professor. Dr. Abdullah Gül, Minister of State of Turkey. 2002-2003, His Excellency Association. Professor Dr. Abdullah Gül, Prime Minister of Turkey, 2003-2007, His Excellency Association. Professor Dr. Abdullah Gül, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, 2007-2014, His Excellency Association. Professor Dr. Abdullah Gül, President of the Republic of Turkey. Honors and medals. National honors, foreign honors. Quotes. 2012. After a Turkish warplane was shot down by Syria due to violations of borders. It is not possible to cover over a thing like this. Whatever is necessarily will be done. It is routine for jet fighters to sometimes fly in and out over borders. When you consider the speed over the sea. These are not ill-intentioned things but happen beyond control due to the jet's speed.